So we've seen you live on stage. Can you tell us who the winners are to reveal the names?
Yes, it's always exciting to have also this collaboration with Stat News and launch our platform at their summit. The winners this year are Eli Lilly in the Innovation Index. They're up 3 places from last year, and they're reclaiming the top spot they last held in 2021. And stalwarts of this high placement within both the innovation and invention indices is AstraZeneca. They have claimed the top spot in the Invention Index. They're up 2 places from last year.
Fantastic. And what do you see as the kind of main drivers behind, two old but remarkably good companies, Lilly and AstraZeneca?
Yes, a great question. So obviously, Lilly has really been growing Zepbound to be a valuable asset that can treat multiple diseases in the metabolic space. We've seen they've taken over from Novo Nordisk with Zepbound. And last year, it was approved as the first and only prescription medicine for moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea in adults with obesity. And this approval, based on the results of their SURMOUNT phase 3 trial, really built on their existing success in diabetes, obesity, and HFpEF. So its broad therapeutic potential across these multiple chronic conditions has cemented its role as a transformative treatment. But beyond that, Lilly has also made really significant strides in Alzheimer's disease, which we know has been a really difficult disease to get, well, clinical success, but also commercial success. Yeah. And with the approval of Kisunla, approved in the US, Japan, Great Britain, and China, it's Lilly's first amyloid plaque targeting therapy. It's demonstrated significant potential in early symptomatic Alzheimer's patients. And even despite a negative opinion from NICE in the UK due to cost concerns, it really has found success in other major markets. Then switching gears to AstraZeneca, and they've been, you also mentioned it, Mike, in one of our earlier conversations, they've been on the top of the index for many years. They share actually a 3rd place on innovation with Roche. But they have then reclaimed the #1 spot for invention. This was a position they last held in 2023. And the real driver behind this is their oncology portfolio, particularly the performance of Imfinzi across multiple cancers. In one of their latest trials called the Himalaya phase 3 trial, it demonstrated unprecedented survival benefits in advanced liver cancer compared to Bayer's Nexavar. And then also Imfinzi demonstrated significant improvements in muscle invasive bladder cancer. And beyond Imfinzi, they have Tagrisso, which is another high-performing asset that reduces risk of death or progression in EGFR mutated non-small cell lung cancer. So they're really targeting also cancers with high unmet medical need. In HER2, another one that's really big within AstraZeneca, showed significant improvement in progression-free survival in HR2 low metastatic breast cancer.
Yeah, and AstraZeneca are kind of fascinating because we go back 10 years, they were facing all kinds of challenge, Pfizer potentially acquiring them and a bunch of other things. And the board backing Pascal and his strategy ever since then was it's been a kind of remarkable success. There's no way that deal will be talked about now. No one, that they sort of turned their fortunes around a lot. And as you say, that oncology portfolio, I was lucky enough to talk with Susan Galbraith on my podcast recently about, and you can almost feel it radiating from Susan why people want to develop oncology drugs at AstraZeneca. And as you point out within HER2 and some of those other drugs, there's kind of the lessons of Keytruda, this kind of constant pursuit of good indications to drive, further adoption, making sure that the right drug is getting to the right people is pretty significant. And, as you say, Lilly, what a great change in leadership there was with Dave Ricks and Dan Skowronski. It was on my podcast a while back, talking about, the kind of cultural change that you bring to an organization. And certainly their placement on the Innovation Index, you got a very strong sense from Dave and from Dan that focusing on delivering value to the marketplace is a very early consideration for Lilly versus, the average pharma company. But maybe if we looked at, the index as a whole, do we see new entrants into the top 10? Any surprises that you've seen there?
Yes, definitely. So great question. And the company that surprised me is UCB. They've made a strong return to the Innovation Index this year, making a re-entry after being absent since 2022. Yeah. But the company previously ranked 19th in the 2022 Innovation Index. And now its comeback is reflective of the significant advancements in immunology, neurology, but also rare diseases. In addition, Regeneron, which we know really typically as a scientific engine, is also up 9 places from last year, taking the 6th spot on the Innovation Index in this year's rankings. And within the Invention Index, Roche has climbed 13 places up from the 17th spot last year to equal 4th place with Regeneron and GSK. So they've climbed 8 places from 16 last year to number 8 this year.
Yeah, UCB was a great surprise when you sort of see, I don't know whether Europe's been seen as the kind of hub of innovation for a long time, but watching a kind of European company come back, and like you say, it was Roche as well as a sort of Swiss company rediscovering some mojo was great, and Regeneron kind of proving that Alnylam-like story of being a great biotech that's also understands what it takes to commercialize and to get the steps, partnering and launching on your own to get there. In terms of people finding out more about the index, what are the kind of best what are the best ways they can go about it now?
Yeah, so now we've presented the top 10 of the index. The full white paper actually can be found on our website, ideapharma.com. It will go live today and will give a full overview of the top 30 as well as further details. We will also be setting up an open industry webinar to share deeper insights and analysis. And also, we are happy to organize lunch and learn sessions for companies who are also interested to find out more about our benchmarking and also how we measure innovation and invention. So I hope our audience here to see them on our website or online or at one of our upcoming networking events later this month and next month.
Fantastic. It's always a great read because you go in with, it doesn't matter who you are, even I, go in with preconceived ideas about who's good and who's not at this stuff. And then you read, things that they're doing that we didn't know about and, approaches they're taking that, so I think that's why it's a good read every year. It's not just a list of companies, but there's reasons for rises and falls. So thank you so much, Jacqui.
Thank you, Mike.